new scenery. What would you call this? So I would say not totally unexpected or random because those that have been following me on like the gram and whatnot, you know that occasionally I do post like this, but it used to be more so on my stories. Oh man, it's like leading me towards like so many subjects just by talking about Instagram. But Miriam has been encouraging me to just talk and just put it out there without even like overthinking it, which I don't know, just tends to like scare me with my Gemini traits because it can, we tend to like talk without thinking when I don't know, it would be more appropriate to maybe not speak or think first. And so I don't know. I guess it's just something I'm gonna have to learn how to be comfortable with. It happens sometimes, but I think this is also just a good time to, I don't know, put it out there. And I've also been channeling like crazy. And so when I channel, it has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere. I have to alchemize it into a project art, some kind of creative, whatever, whatever. Or it has to be put into some kind of information or words for the collective or whoever this message is for, just by sharing the experience. I know for Miriam, what she would call hers is being like a transmission. I was like, I say it's pretty similar. You're basically used as a vessel for channeling messages. Obviously, it's not as visually appealing as it would be using cards. Yes. I wonder if I can caption this after I post the live. I don't know. We'll have to play around. I'm utilizing different tools. And just for whatever reason today, I decided to use the new tools on Patreon. So if you haven't heard of the Patreon fam, the Soul fam gets access to all the things, which includes all my writing dumps. And I got a lot of them, you guys. And today I didn't feel like writing. Also, my wrists hurt from probably carpal tunnel and arthritis joint things. And I was like, well, why don't I just talk it out like therapy? Ended up crying, of course. Whatever. It's just part of the healing journey. I was like, I feel more. Whereas like before, I had a more difficult time crying. So I'm cool with it. Because the Patreon fam is like not a huge community yet. It's a very small, tight knit community, and they've all come from Instagram, my tarot clients. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check it out. The intuitive coaching tier don't apply to that unless you want to do intuitive coaching, but you have to check out on the website first. Um, I feel like there's a lot of coaching out there. Obviously, there's a lot of spiritual gurus, and obviously, I think I'm different than everybody else. But I do think it's going to be even more different when we launch the added service of Miriam's product. And me and Heather are the only ones that are going to have access to it first, as of now, that I believe. But I do know that it's going to expand, and we were asked to also call in also other readers, astrologers, and people that could use or want to use this product, service, and tool for their own business, spiritual businesses. Uh, and what are for you? Do you have one? Do I have one? What? Pause for the chat because I didn't see people walk in. Come in. You walked in. Mm. Oh, were you asking if I had a Patreon? Yes. But if that's not what you were asking, I apologize. No, so I decided to use the new tools on Patreon, and it includes going live and also what is it called? Equip? I might be saying that wrong. Whatever that is. It's basically where you can publicly post some of your private posts so that other people can find you more easily. I'm not sure. I'm still new to Patreon things, but I've had it for 2 years. You speak Spanish. Well, hopefully this translates for you. Please let me know because I have tried to make sure that it can, depending what country you're in, because I am supposed to be reaching out more internationally, which would mean I'd like to cater to your language. It does come from a past life. Has anybody here done past life regression? I didn't even know like really what I was gonna talk about on here. I just like wanted to try it and see. Because my mentor said, based on my chart and the astrology and what's going on, my Mercury would be heard more clearly to my audience and the people that are supposed to be connected to me. And so I just talk and people find me. And so this is my way of like, let's try it out. Okay. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Allie. I'm a tarot reader and intuitive coach for the last 6 years. If you're curious about my awakening story and how I became a reader, go ahead and check out my other videos because it wasn't always a thing. I have a lot of side quest stories and I'm still going through those. I feel like it's about the journey, not the destination, right? And so I feel like not enough people share these things. These things tend to not be known until someone is dead. You know, we just read these documentaries and these memoirs and we're like, wow, I had no idea there were all these, layers to someone's life. Yes. Fucking yes. And why why have we been conditioned not to share that? It's been such an interesting time transitioning from Pluto and Capricorn to Pluto and Aquarius. As an Aquarius sun, personally, I definitely saw the internal shift in myself. You are Shahido, Sean Kenny. Welcome in. Yeah, just a ramble. I forget what did I title this? Oh, with you as my witness. Yes. So going back to the Patreon fam and using the new tools on there, I decided to just basically do a live voice message dump to my people because I've been kind of MIA and no one's been really pulling on my energy, or at least not trying to. They try their best. But what can I say? They love me and I love them. It be like that. That's how I feel about my mentor as well. Um, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the relationship that develops between a mentor and a mentee, especially when you become friends. Like I don't think I've ever hit the level of intimacy like I have with with I ha- with Miriam and mentors in general. Like even my fitness coach when I was doing it, like we've had conversations and a connection. It's very hard to develop otherwise. You know why I think that is because people try so hard to be perfect and we just have like this thing as humans as trying to show up as our best selves even if it's not authentically true. Now with coaching you can't fucking do that. You can, but it'd be a waste of money. We can also get into the topic of I've had a coaching member quit before. And yeah, I was actually very upset. I was disappointed, mostly because of like, why would he do that? Why would he lie? But yeah, people have and do lie during their coaching sessions. And I say, if you can't take accountability, coaching is probably not for you. But you can't change what you can't confront. And when you're having like these conversations with your mentor who's supposed to see your blind spots, and yes, they cheerlead you, but they also call you out. They also call you out and it's uncomfortable. And there's been times where you will push back. There's been so many times where I have cried. There's been times where Miriam has shut me down and told me like, "Hey, get a grip on yourself. I'm not even available." Like, it's so hard, you guys. It's so hard. um and I don't feel like I've experienced anything like that outside of these kind of dynamics and relationships. But also how important it is for your own development and growth. Seriously. I feel like I don't know where I would be without it, and I've come a long way. And so I will always talk about the importance of that. So yeah, I needed some witnesses to my life, and I was like, well, who better than the Patreon fam? I do say soul family. And this is where I put some of my deepest writings and expressions. So that's kind of how I not really where I started, but one of the stepping stones I was in when I was on my journey with Miriam. So I guess let's just like talk about that because we never had like a separate chat just dedicated to how I know Miriam, but we talk about her and mention her a lot. And being that we are pending this launch, and I just started talking about it, I might as well, right? Might as well. So, how I met Miriam. I was just like you guys. I was scrolling the algorithm and I came across one of Miriam's videos and she was doing tarot cards. I was new to tarot. If you're curious about that story, there's videos on my playlist about how I stumbled upon it. But on trying to learn about it, I wanted to watch other people do it. And that's how I found Miriam's channel. I just felt like pulled to her voice mostly. It sounded so familiar. And I just started watching her for months, months. And then I was starting to rewatch her videos. And it's not like me to reread or rewatch something unless I'm like genuinely interested. And so I saw that as like a green flag. Eventually, I started, I don't know at what point I decided to get a reading from her, but I was dating someone at the time and I was going through a very tough divorce. And the way what she said clicked for me, even though I had a hard time believing it. And her other videos resonated so much. And as it played out, I mean, she was not wrong. So I continued to get readings from her. Not super often, maybe like once a month, once a season here and there. When was this? About like a year or two. And then at some point, I got um, a birth chart reading from her. And then um, I went on some of her lives and I got crowned as like a moderator because I was there so often. And then got to know some of the other people in her sphere. And then eventually my birth chart readings turned into just us talking and like a friendship. And then it turned into her being my Al Anon sponsor. And that was a huge part of my spiritual recovery. And definitely on the path of something that I've been trying to heal from generationally, ancestrally, karmically. Um, and gosh, when was that? That was the 4th of July of 2023. And I feel like from there is when we really started getting to know each other because of our Al Anon group sessions. And so I'm obviously not going to share a whole lot about that because they're private, but um, no, it was kind of that moment where you take a knee and you take a look at yourself and you realize how much you're the problem. And like, I knew, but I don't know. Go, sitting with Miriam, it took me to a whole other level. I think that that I didn't realize. And I don't think I would have been able to see without her showing me that reflection. And then we have just stayed in touch since as friends and occasionally still get readings from her. I would say not as much, which is like normal as you develop your own senses, but you still have blind spots. So still occasionally, although she mostly teaches me like um how to find my own answers with astrology, and I'm just kind of like in a new season in life where I'm supposed to be teaching other people. I just like don't feel ready sometimes. I'm like, I don't know if we're quite there yet. In some ways, yes. In some ways, yes. But with the way that she's carried me, she says I'm ready to do the same. I was just like, I feel like what I've shown people, even just the 80%, 70 to 80%, they're grateful enough for that. And I I don't even know. I don't even know. But how awesome is it to come across people that you don't even live around, just online, and being able to energetically connect in that way and impact other people's lives. And that's why I do what I do. Now I've taken a lot of her methods and things I've learned from her and other people along the way. And then when they sit with me for the first time, especially if they're very new to tarot readings, especially if they're new to these realms, they always tell me, wow, that just felt like a million therapy sessions and probably better than I've ever experienced. And that's exactly how I felt when I sat with Miriam. It was like she could decode and read my soul, and someone to be able to see me like that, that was like a love that's like so beautiful and out of this world. And I try my best to give that to other people. To be seen is it's a beautiful thing, and you can't deny that resonance when we live in a world right now where people are questioning if there is even a truth. And I think a lot of people would say that the timing of all of this is no coincidence, right? Um, you guys know I'm a big conspiracy theorist. Is it a conspiracy if it's true? We're living in a time where all of that shit is true. Let's just say. Like, so the AI thing, I'm not 110% against it. I do think there's rules and regulations that are needed. And I do hope that humanity and just man comes to some kind of conclusion of how to figure out their boundaries and limits when it comes to the earth that we live on, is I guess the best way I could word it. Am I 110 a 10% against it? No. No. And a lot of you guys know that I've had used AI for things, as well as Miriam and Heather. I have a friend that's like an AI consult. It's not evil, it's not bad, it's man. It's man, it's just like money. Money's not evil, it's not bad. It's man, it's humans. I'm just saying, and us not knowing our limits, right? I do think like there are some things that's kind of weird. um I don't know, people thinking that it's like 110% correct. That's also concerning because it's not. It's very much not. You got to be careful with that. And I feel like psychics and intuitives have a better understanding of that discernment because I've had AI argue with me. Okay. And that's weird. That was freaking weird to be gaslit by AI. And I was just like, this is not okay. And what this could be potentially doing to people that do not have great mental health, I don't know. I don't know if you don't have good discernment, but I'm just saying that the timing of how this is all playing out and the way people are feeling out in the collective, I think is on purpose. It's completely on purpose. So that's why I made the intuitive coaching program. And so it's like not just about getting tarot readings, it's to help you grow your discernment because the more that you follow your intuition and you make choices based on your intuition, it's not just like, oh, I have strong intuition and I see something. A lot of people see things and don't make a choice based on that. And so when you work with a mentor and a coach, you're basically encouraged and kind of pushed and cheerleaded to like not just see it, but actually act on it and go towards it. And you would be surprised how often people don't. You would be surprised how often people don't. You know, like how we watch all these movies and TV shows about like murders and crimes, and people are always like, I knew it in my gut. My intuition told me, blah, blah, blah. They always say that after it's too fucking late. After it's too late, right? So, this is crisis prevention, a gift from me to the collective with an added service of Miriam's gift with her astrology formulas that I am a diehard, not just fan, but loyal spiritual messenger. And like, let's not forget, you guys, back in the day, they was it royal? I probably, I mean, queens and kings, they used to use astrologers and birth chart type of readers. They probably called it other things, but people that do what we do, seers and psychics, to gain more insight and information so that they could make informed decisions that would impact not just them, but their community and their kingdom. It is no different now. It is no different now. And yes, I do have gotten readings from my mentors and other people that I trust to see my blind spots before I make major decisions in my life. Now, what Miriam has created, I told her she needs to write up like a summary and tell me when she's ready because she said she doesn't care how we market it. But I'd like to know how she would like to market it. But the way that she presented it to Heather and I was basically a generator that has her special formulas that would answer very specific questions that, in my opinion, I said would solve the tarot reading dilemmas of people, one, being suspicious of tarot readings or saying that they're gimmicky or too vague. And, you know, we're in a big boom of the spiritual industry. And I've been saying it. I was like, you know, the more this grows, the more people might question or be turned off. And I've seen it. Like when I got onto YouTube lives, like I was doing shorts mostly, but when I started doing live streams, there are people who are like, oh my gosh, another tarot reader. Yes, there's going to be a lot of us. I said that. I was like, well, there's just going to be more and more, but you know, they're not all the same. Every messenger is different, right? And so she created basically a product that would tell you all the nitty gritty questions that you would ask in a tarot reading. So you know how I have like one of my tiers on my website is the intuitive check-in. It's 1111. You ask me one question, one subject, and you're like, okay, does blah 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 have feelings for me? Well, first of all, is that the question you should be asking? I have an Instagram post about how to frame your tarot reading questions and the importance of that, especially when it comes to saving your money. But, you know, you can pull cards all day. Psychics and mediums, we have information all day, but it is an energy drain, just FYI. That's why it's priced the way it is. Just saying, we don't control how man distributes the coin in this economy. Okay. We just work here. We're just on earth trying to survive and eat just like you guys, right? So she called it like a soul archetype. Uh, that was like another tier to it. But basically, before you invest into a person, place, or thing, before you get in a relationship with someone, before you dive into a business, before you get a loan, before you or get a loan with someone, because obviously you have to have another person when it comes to these generators. But before you move in with someone, have a baby, think of like investments, things that you would like to know before you do that. um, which is why people seek out tarot readers, right? Most of the time. Most of the time, it's because they're in a crisis or they're stuck at a crossroads trying to prevent one. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's like most of the tarot readings. You don't get tarot readings because you don't have problems and because you're completely happy. There's no one on this earth that doesn't have a problem. Let's just say that. That's why we're here as messengers. And so her formulas would answer all those questions, everything that you would like to know. So yeah, you can like someone, love someone, but until you're under the same roof with someone, mind you, like my longest relationship was the worst relationship, my biggest blind spot, completely lied to me. You never know what you're walking into. Like I'm still discovering new things to this day, and that relationship is done and gone. Make that make sense, right? And so this would tell you, this person's sleep patterns, what they're like on a good day, what they're like on a bad day, their mood swings, the things that motivate them, inspire them, um, the things that you would clash on, because you always will. There's always going to be a challenge. There's going to be squares, there's going to be tensions, and then how to create better flow if there is, even because sometimes it might just not be the right fit. And so this generator will tell you a basic yes or no and a summary of those kind of questions and answers. I'm very excited about it. Very excited about it. We did a test run between me and Heather, and I would say it's pretty spot on. And the reason why we did it between me and Heather, and I thought it was a great idea, like, because we were like basically at the same crossroads with each other. Like me and Heather weren't sure because if like what we wanted to do together with certain projects and creative collabs. Because we technically didn't know each other outside of Miriam. And so we kind of wanted to see our own synastry outside of that. And so, before me and Heather invested into each other, our friendship and a business, we wanted to see what that looked like. Very positive results, very enlightening. Yes. We do have challenges and tension. Do I love her? Yes. She is like soul fam. Absolutely. And we'll get more into all of that at a later date because we're still going through these conversations. But it was just like, wow, the resonance that I had with the results, and when I was just like reading through it, I felt like, I don't know, why wouldn't people want something like this? Because it kind of took away all the questions that was going on through my head and all the questions that Heather was going through her head over there. And we're on completely different state lines, not near each other, time zones and everything, experiences. And it shows just like how connected we truly are just by this information. um and I felt like, I don't know, I told her, I was like, I'll always be happy to cross paths with you in this lifetime because we definitely shared past lives with each other. Blows my mind, you guys. Blows my mind. Is that the Yeah, I mean, that's the newest development. I think that's mainly what I jumped on here for, and just to ramble about the new what do you call it, tools on Patreon, because I do plan to utilize that more. The original plan was to put like the extended reading videos out there, but since my videos in general are kind of changing, like I do plan to use extended content and post it over there. I just haven't been in the space where that part of my business is moving around quite yet. There's other things happening. There's other things happening. But the Patreon fam has, they are my witnesses to, I guess, the details of the nitty gritty. But I am going through a very abusive situation. I have posted on all my platforms about this issue. The closest to the people to me know this isn't like new news, but I would say the tension has gotten greater and the situation has escalated. And in abusive situations, this is life or death. This is life or death for me and my kids. I have a very strong 12th house. So I deal with a lot of hidden enemies, and those hidden enemies are sitting in my Venus Taurus placements. And it usually has to do with some kind of projection of this idea that I took or stole from them, or they're envious or jealous of what I have in my material possessions. It doesn't even matter, you guys, if they make more than me or if they have more than me or what it seems like it. It happens all the fucking time. So I'm on my highest timeline. I knew that it came with some haters, and some of those haters are secret admirers. They're people that I thought were my friends that fucking stabbed me in the back. And I'm just like sitting here letting them, let them, right? It's not my karma. The great thing about having a 12th house, if there was one, I guess you have hidden talents and skills, but it's also very strong karma debt. So when people do me dirty, a lot of the times it backfires on them in a horrible way, even if it doesn't seem interconnected. I'm very, I'm very convinced. I've seen it happen. Like sometimes they've come back to apologize because it was so bad. They're like, you have no idea what happened after. And so, does that make me happy? Is that wrong? Who fucking cares? I was done wrong and dirty. I've lived most of my adult life in very unjustified situations that I did not deserve, and neither did my children. And I'm getting to a point in life where I'm elevating and I'm in that transition, and there's other people trying to prevent me and my son from getting there. So much so that they've lied, withheld information, and put me and my son in unsafe situations. So, with YouTube and the world as my witness, I am doing my best to use every legal channel and system possible. However, I'm a prime example of Pluto and Aquarius and those systems not fucking working, falling apart. And then there's me and my son standing in the middle of it saying, hello, we are the prime examples of why we need extreme radical change right now, so that we can stop, so that we can stop pretending like anyone gives a shit. And then we have like these memorials and these things in memory of someone that stood up for a cause that is no longer here anymore. It is crazy to me how much people have changed psychologically just from what happened during the COVID pandemic times. And it could just be mostly my area, but I do think it's everywhere. I do think it's everywhere. And I do think it's a spiritual warfare and done on purpose to test people's nervous systems on how much they can handle and how much they will react. And so seeing people around me not react to the abuse that me and my kids have been going through, And basically, for them, tomorrow there's always a new day. They have no idea what it's like to wake up and wonder if there will be and what the rest of your day looks like, and having to worry about where you park your vehicle, and if you show up somewhere, if a person tied to that person is going to be there and if they're going to say something. Because I grew up in a small town. This has impacted every single area of my life, and I'm fighting like hell. And Miriam and Heather, they're a huge part of this, my growth, trying to get us to safety as much as they possibly can. But I also need public witnesses to my life. And so I feel more comfortable sharing those kind of things on Patreon, but that was kind of like a summary gist, enough to like have eyes on me. I was like, I have I don't know, do you even trust Apple either? I was like, it's the way technology is set up. We can talk about that too. I haven't been able to prove it. There's another tarot reader on YouTube that's going through something very similar. It's not very uncommon, I think, for other 12th housers who tend to be psychics and intuitives too, to have stalking issues. And it's more than one. It's like I'm being gang stalked. And I I don't really look at this psychologically anymore. I feel like it kept me in loops of trying to understand crazy fucking people. I I look at it more as a spiritual and energetic attack, that people got demons on them and it's just jumping from person to person. Because I don't even know if they saw it coming to betray me. I think people, they're unconscious to their own issues of fear, power, and control, and it's fucking showing. It's showing so bad that they're willing to hurt other people in the process of getting what they want. And I don't even know if they would call it that. There's some kind of sick, justified reason for this. I don't know. It's a sickness, it's a denial, and it's showing up everywhere around me. Obviously, I know other people's situations and stories because I'm a tarot reader. So you guys tell me the collective's issues and your issues. Well, this is mine. This is mine. And I had this thought at the beginning of this ramble of a video, but this goes into basically parasocial behavior. I do see social media changing because people are recognizing this and feeling weird about it. You guys know that I've moved differently online because of certain weird experiences I've had with admirers and fans, quote unquote. And I'm just trying to make friends and be me. And I'm just existing, staying in my own lane. And you would be surprised. Protect your own energy. And I could just have more sensitivities. But I truly think it's an energy thing out there right now. Like, I do think moderating spirits and mimics do exist. I definitely do. I'm recognizing it more and more. Like when people start to over ask personal questions that they have no business knowing. Like I'm just a lot more careful now of people and how they've been pulling on my energy and harvesting my energy. I didn't realize that I don't know, my whole life people saw that I had light and that they wanted to control and dim it for their own whatever. And I just think that's crazy. I think that's crazy work. That's demon work. Not today, Satan. So, um, I don't know what else I'm comfortable sharing publicly just yet. Honestly, what's probably going to happen is you're just going to see things pop out, which isn't very, I guess, mm, what would be the word? It wouldn't be uncommon for me to do something like that. I was like, the last couple years, I feel like I haven't really announced as much as I've just kind of popped out and did what I wanted at random. It'll probably just be like that. So if you're someone that like gets really stuck on certain patterns on a channel or whatever, whatever, or if you're interested in seeing the growth of this and where it leads, walk into the unknown with me. Walk into the unknown with me because I have no idea. I'm open to what's changing. I always had a feeling that it wasn't just going to be about tarot readings. I was like, there I have so many other interests in life that I want to dive into and discover. And I'm definitely seeing my world expand. And it's exciting. It's freaky. It's so freaky that I'm breaking out of the matrix so bad that the characters around me are basically acting like the movie Inception. And they don't want me to get out of that narrative. You know what I say? I say, fuck you. I say, fuck you to everyone that's gotten in the way of me and my children. You will not win. I was chatting with someone via voice message. What's new? It's one of my friends that I haven't caught up with in a very long time. He's a Cancer sun. And I always say, like, Cancer suns have a beautiful gift of being able to be a counselor to other people spiritually and not even realize it. Water signs in general are great at this. But Cancer suns, they kind of fill in like this motherly role, whether they're a male or a female, and they can sit at the bottom of the barrel with you, and they won't get out until you're ready. He's one of those people, and I didn't have to say much to him without him because I just was telling him what was going on. I didn't say how I was feeling, and sometimes I forget that part. I don't know why. I'll have to revisit that. But he basically said, "You know, you can't ever give up ever. I know you know that." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, how did he know? How did he know that?" This whole process the last 6 months. Oh, I've thought about it. You think about giving up. It's not like, you know, can I say that on YouTube? Nothing graphic, obviously. But you know how you just like what is the difference between surrendering and giving up? I don't know. Is there one? Because either way, I'm on the floor. It's that kind of feeling. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this has been the most surrendery time. And it's like in my chart to experience this surrender, let go, so that I can teach the collective to surrender, let go. Because you don't realize how much your anchors block you from your manifestations. People are always trying to manifest things in, not realizing that they're blocking themselves. Well, this is me basically in a Mario game fighting off the final boss so I can get what is it? The golden coin, the star, Princess Peach. Like my video game references. I grew up in the 90s, okay? This is what I know. This is what I know. I think I'm done here. I'm gonna have another bowl of food. But thank you guys for whoever stopped in to hang out and listen, and whoever ends up finding this. Hugs to you, energetic hugs. My love goes to you if any of this resonates, if you can hear me, because I do have a Cassandra curse. So not everybody can hear me, you guys. So my audience is very specific. It's very specific. I am looking for the loyal and true. Right? Right? You get it. Well, anyway, we'll talk soon. Until next time. Bye.